Hello everyone, Trackmaster Tehachapi here with another layout update video. Ever since the big layout tour, quite a bit has changed on the layout, including a change of eras, new scenery, new tracks, and even a possible new location. This video will serve as a quick update video to showcase everything that has changed on the layout ever since the actual tour video. So with that being said, we can quit meandering along with this intro and jump right into the layout tour. Starting our tour in Bakersfield and working eastbound like in the layout tour video, nothing's really changed at Bakersfield, save for the placement of engines and rolling stock, and the extension of the storage line up front. There haven't been any changes to the actual lines near Comanche, Edison, and Sandcut, so we can jump right to the Helix for the next update. As you can see, progress has been made on the Helix, which will wrap around along the wall back there, and will eventually rise to connect at that siding on the actual main line just before the bridge. And speaking of the bridge, it's now complete and capable of swinging out of the way when needed. It uses an old door hinge and an old latch from Home Depot, and this allows the actual bridge to be swung down when the layout is not in use. Much more efficient than the old one that just blocked the path. We'll start our tour on Layer 2 at Caliente. Unfortunately, not much has changed here, except for the addition of its own spotlight signals and 2 trees. These prop trees were bought in Pasco, Washington, and currently serve as placeholders until the actual trees get implemented. Up at Pasco, I went to a place called TJ Model Trains, where I got 14 pre-made trees and 2 kits of trees. These kits will eventually make up all the trees on the layout once the actual terrain is finished and ready, but for now, these pre-made trees serve as placeholders for where I may want trees in the future. We won't have to cover Bealville too much, as the only addition here was 2 trees. Nothing's new in Tunnel 4's corner, except for the placement of 3 temporary trees. The original spotlight signals from the layout tour video still stand. Probably the biggest change on the layout since the tour video is Woodford. I've cut back a lot of terrain and added a little bridge to allow space for Woodford Creek, and to put in more greenery and junk when the terrain is more complete. I've also finally painted and completed the Keene potable water storage in the back, and added this crater in the hills. This crater will become the former site of the Keene limestone quarry. Not much is known about the quarry's specific dates, but it was open throughout the Great Depression. Unfortunately, the quarry struck a large water vein, and the entire mines flooded, meaning the entire mineshaft had to be abandoned. The crater is still visible at Woodford today, and this crater is a plan that I have to reflect the actual location, eventually putting greenery and water in when the terrain around it is more complete. Now we get to Waylong, aka the Loop. This still remains probably the centerpiece of the layout, although now I've put actual signals on the top, and I have a signal bridge ready for the base of the loop. Unfortunately, since it's not secured yet, and it won't be until more terrain is put in, the signal bridge lays attached separately. I've moved Tunnel 10 up on the layout to allow space to add Burton's Curve. For those of you wondering why it's even here, or what Burton's Curve is, allow me to explain. I can think of no better way to introduce these two than by using their 2006 calendar. This here is a photo of Dave Burton and his wife Helen. These two are famous rail fans throughout the Tehachapis for being train photographers throughout the 80s to 2000s. Unfortunately, in 2002, Helen passed away, and Dave followed suit in 2004. Since then, their friends have erected a Southern Pacific-style sign at Curve 83, and thanks to Karen, we now have some of Dave's best work on display at this calendar. The calendar is still on sale in the Tehachapi Depot Museum's gift shop, and you can pick one up for yourself. It's a wonderful way to commemorate the life of Dave Burton, and since he's so influential to me, I've decided to place Burton's Curve on my layout, and no matter what era I'm modeling, Burton's Curve will always be on it. Anyways, quick tribute lesson aside, back to the actual layout. Some accessories I've made for the loop include the 1989 Cajon Pass runaway cross and the signal bridge, which will stand secured. The nameplate itself will hang off of the loop like this, but cannot be secured until there's more terrain put in place. The signal bridge is planned to go right here at the base of the loop, but unfortunately, until it gets actually secured, it's gonna remain separate. Also, since Tunnel 10 was pushed back on the layout, this provides more room to either extend cable or add Marcel. I'm not 100% certain which one I'm gonna do right now, but it's looking pretty promising that Marcel is gonna join the layout. As for the actual town of Tehachapi, the only buildings I've completed so far is the signal bridge, the depot, and the water tower. There isn't really much to talk about here, so we can probably skip it and move on to the Mojave Desert section. There hasn't been any changes, and signals are still being worked on in this area, so unfortunately that cuts our showcase a little short. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video to the end. Hopefully you've liked it enough to leave a like or maybe even subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. In the meantime, enjoy this footage of me struggling to play with a wooden railway Amtrak. This is the exact reason why I'm a Trackmaster modeler and not a wooden railway modeler. But anyways, that yapping aside, thank you all for watching and see you later.